What's up, everybody? We're back here with a update on the Ecto-1 project so far. Making some pretty decent progress. A little slow here and there just because I've made a few changes, just a couple from the mock. Basically just to kind of finite some of the details, make things look a little bit nicer, and we'll talk about what I've done so far. But first, we'll kind of look at what's done on the car so far. I don't have the dash quite in place yet. Just kind of test fitting some stuff, but you guys can see the engine bay is done. Looks really good. We'll talk about some changes, a lot of changes that I made in there. Got the basically the whole front grille done. Looks really good. Building the grill itself is kind of a pain in the ass because there's a bunch of these little roller skates that you really got to make sure they're lined up nice and they're all straight with each other, and so that's kind of a pain, but if you do it right, take your time, make sure everything's lined up, everything looks really good. You can see we've got kind of the front fenders on, the front doors are on, and those are working really nice. Even have the interior popped in there. You guys can kind of see we've finalized some of the middle area here. Have the two other seats and then some of the instrument panels. Not too much done on the back of the car yet. That's something I've noticed. Excuse me. Something I've noticed from the mock instructions versus Lego's instructions is if I was building this via the Lego instructions, I'd have a little bit more of the back end of the car built up. But right now the mock instructions seem to be leading you more towards working your way front to back, which is fine. No worries there. You guys can see the other chair there, two chairs. Everything that was underneath here is nice and covered up. And then where the driver's side passenger door is going to be, we have a little bit more instrument detail on the back of that, so that's pretty cool. And how the hinges are made to where it's kind of like a two-piece hinge, so they can properly slide open, because there is an interference fit when they open with how these doors are, because everything's so tight and flat right there. So really nice designing on that. Wasn't too sure what was going on there at first, but once I got these doors put in and kind of saw how the relationship was between the opening of the rear doors versus the front door closing point there, I can see why the hinges are made like that. So they work really nice. Got the driver's side door done. Looks really cool. And we'll kind of lead that into some of the front of the cab here, some of the detail. Pretty cool to have a little gas pedal there. A little out of focus. Still out of focus. There we go. And then some of the cool little Technic pieces used for the steering column. Of course, I went and I tiled the floors and I tiled the sills underneath the door here because all of that was exposed studs, and I just figured it would look quite a bit better with tiling over that, kind of make it a little bit cleaner of a look. Doors close really nice. Of course, the steering works. So the steering works, and then also we have our hand of God steering in place too. You guys can see all that's tied. Excuse me. God, all that's tied together. Works really good. Utilized one of the little antenna pieces as a shifter. That's pretty cool. Other things I added in the cab of the car here is some of these felt looking ramps that my phone does not want to focus in on at all. There we go. You guys can see it's those textured ramps in there going up to the firewall. I thought that was kind of a nice touch, and then I also kind of built up a little bit of a firewall here, and then just kind of built up a faux firewall right there, so that way when the dash is on, you can't see through to the actual front of the firewall there with some of the technic holes in it and stuff. So that worked out really nice. I do have the dash done, ready to go in. That's a really cool piece. Only one sticker on that. The rest are all printed pieces, which is nice. And then you guys can kind of see how everything will look once the dash is in. Sorry guys, this part of this car is kind of blocking some of that, but it'll look pretty cool. And then, like I said before, I think I mentioned it in the last video that I was going to take some special time and care in the engine bay of the car, since I'm a car guy and I like the engines to look really, really good. We did end up doing quite a few little changes up in the front of the car here for the engine and the grill area. Something that Lego kind of has you do is use... Gonna use my X-Acto knife as a pointer here. So down here, there's a 1x6 tile that Lego has you use, and it's a red one. And then these gray tiles, they're just the ones with the single studs in the middle for these supports that come off of the grill. They had those as gold pieces, so I changed those to gray. There wasn't a piece in the middle here, so I kind of added one of these more interesting looking tiles with the angles on it. I tried to put a bigger battery in the car by, instead of using the 1x3, I used a 2x3 brick. And my issue was with these pieces that help hold the wheel wells in place. It didn't allow enough space for that, so I kind of had to lose that, which kind of sucked. But we still kind of used a 1x1 black tile on there to kind of finalize the battery shape a little bit. This little ramp piece over here, put a 1x1 flat edge tile on that to kind of smooth that out. And then the engine itself received a lot of changes. And I'll kind of walk through the instructions here and show you what all I changed. So from the base of the construction, I actually changed all these to blue parts, since when an engine block, back in the day, when engine blocks were basically fully assembled, minus a couple of the, like say the alternator, a pump, the air intake, stuff like that wouldn't have been on it yet, but the basics of the engine would have been put together and the whole thing would have been painted. So we changed all that to blue. These I actually extended out one tile to bring the bulk of the engine block up to this, so it's actually 5 studs long now. Since I did an offset on these, I did my 1x1 ramp tile in the middle, and then these are separated into two with a ramp tile being in the middle of those. Of course, this white piece got replaced with a blue piece. The clamps that hold the valve covers on are separated by a 1x1 ramp tile now, to kind of spread the load on that, look a little bit nicer, a little bit fuller in the front. The base of the intake right here, I changed that to blue, and then the rest of these add-on parts I kept in the gray and black colors. The air filter itself, I took a circular piece, and you guys can kind of see I used a black colored one to kind of match with the kit, or match the look of the motor there. I didn't have any blue of these little axle clips, So that stayed black, but these two pieces were replaced with blue. Now keep in mind that now the valve covers kind of fill all the way up to that area, so you don't have this weird gap anymore. This blue 1x8 was replaced with a blue one, or the black one was replaced with a blue one. The mount for the alternator, I kept these two pieces blue, and then they had this piece in gray. I figured it'd look a little bit better, or they had it in black, excuse me. And then I replaced it with a gray piece to make it look a little bit better. Kept this piece the same, kept this pump the same, with some additional top details. All the pulleys stayed the same colors. And then, sadly, I don't have any black rubber bands, or I would have replaced these with black to look a little bit realistic. But the red one looks pretty cool. You get a good vibe of what's going on there. So there you guys can kind of see some of the coloration issues that I had personally with the kit. They used a yellow axle with a yellow keeper on that gear. You guys can see the gold colored pieces there. This isn't really visual, but I did switch that out for a gray piece as well. Same thing with these blocks on the firewall for the lower supports that these axles slide into and kind of help hold the whole front end together. Those are I replaced those with black ones, and here you guys can kind of see that odd gap in the valve covers. Of course, we couldn't get rid of the gap on the back because those go right over the big steering gear. So not too much I could really do about that, but I could at least make the front of the engine look a lot better. And you guys can see so at the top of where the coolant pretty much comes in, where the thermostat would be, I added a tile with a middle stud on it. Tiled off some of these studs with 1x1 blue tiles. You guys can kind of see some of the color change there. You can see how my valve covers are nice and thick all the way up front, so that makes the block look a little bit better. You guys can see how I spanned out those supports with a tile in there. You guys can see the color change on the gear, or on the axle and the keeper for that gear. And then down all the way at the bottom of the firewall, you guys don't see any bright colors that would stand out too much. All that looks really good. So yeah, guys, just a lot of little details that really brought the engine to life, in my opinion. The engine looks 100 times better. My only concern now is this piece sticks up a little bit, and I'm not too sure how the hood is going to close. I don't know how close it is to any of this. So if there is a fitment issue with this piece, I'll either see if I can modify the hood. If not, then I will just switch this out for just a smooth circular tile. But we're going to try to stick with that if I can. But in my opinion, the engine looks 100 times better. Just adding more details, this pump here, added some detail with some tiles on top of that. A couple other little pieces thrown in here and there. And then you guys don't see any crazy colors down here. So for me, that's what it's all about, is doing a lot of the little details with these kits can really bring a lot out of it. Before, yes, this is really cool. It's cool that they got the GM license for Cadillac. And they did a nice representation. It looks really cool, but it's made for mass production. That's the only issue Lego has, is everything has to be made for mass production. So there is a lot of stuff that kind of gets lost. A lot of the little details kind of get passed over because they're working on creating a kit that can be mass produced quick and still look good, which they do a very good job of that. I'm not dogging on Lego at all for that. They do a fantastic job, but there is always room for improvement if you're picky like me, and you really like bringing out as much detail as possible in these kits. Yes, there is a bunch of other stuff I could do, but like I said, I'm not trying to win an award with this. I just want it to make me happy and look really cool. So that's basically what we did. And I like it. I really like how it's coming along so far. The whole front end of the car looks fantastic. Like I said, we took a lot of time to make sure all these roller skates were perfectly lined up. It was a pain, but the grill looks really nice and uniform. Nothing's too shifted over or anything. We also made sure that these mounts for the beacons came out straight. Of course, sticker placement on the license plate. That's a crucial sticker. You really want to make sure you take your time. Put those on straight. Same thing with the Cadillac name on the valve covers. You want to make sure that you take your time and get those as straight as possible. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for right now. I'm gonna try to get some more building done today. See how much further we can get. I'm sure I can get the whole front of the car done. Hopefully, get a good chunk of the back started. And yeah, guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. Just an update on the Ecto-1 progress. So far, me personally, I'm really happy with how everything's going. Just taking my time, making sure if there is anything that I don't like that gets changed, and just really have a super nice, one-of-a-kind piece. So that's it for this video, guys. Until next time, take care.